I'm going to do this video in the rawest form I have ever done because what transpired tonight in a verdict of not guilty is the rawest form you can ever see. There are a lot of people on Facebook, Twitter, email that is shocked at the verdict of not guilty. Now, let's be honest with ourselves. If you really sit back and think about it, you should not be that shocked. But it is sad, it's disappointing, it's frustrating, it's aggravating, it's irritating as hell to know that a 29-year-old, half white, half Hispanic man has gotten away with killing an 18-year-old child that was half his size, minding his own business, coming from the store. Now, you're following a child. You have a gun on your person, and you call 911 with suspect information, and they tell you to stand your ground, but then you still feel like you threatened. It doesn't make any sense. But I'm saying to you out there, you need to know that racism is alive, well, and kicking. It's no longer hid by chains. It's hid by the closing of your schools, the arresting of your kids, the killing of your kids, the cutting of your salaries in certain black communities, the lack of everything needed is invisible chains. But yet we walk around and think everything is hunky-dory and we are getting great benefits, and we're not. And some of us has even jumped over the fence to the other side. And again, I say, I don't care if they're purple, yellow, pink. True love is true love. Get me, understand me well. But irregardless, if you as a black person is dating someone that's this color and not this color, when something happened, this color will always prevail. And we have seen that over and over again. And clearly, it is made clearly fact that Florida is a racist state, very racist. If in the Miami-Dade in Florida that you take an 82-year-old woman and throw her off the train, when a Florida woman who gets 20 years for shooting at somebody, 20 years, and she didn't shoot, she shot at to defend her life. No trial was advertised on TV. She had a little mini trial, hideaway, and she went straight to jail. But this is the United States. It says united, but I don't see no unity in what happened tonight. I don't see no equality. I don't see no fairness in what happened tonight. And let's flip it a little bit further. I see that the NAACP is stepping up for civil charges or whatever it may be. Where are all these organizations as this stuff has been going on? When Trayvon was first murdered, everybody was at the table. Why was none of these organizations following along or their presence known? See, this is our problem. We jump up when the final verdict or when the beginning, but in between is where it's needed and it's not been given. My heart goes out to the mother for her child who has not been vindicated for his death by the system. And this is not the first time. This is just one of those cases this strongly advertised. What about those children who has suffered the same fate and their death have not been vindicated? Black people, wake up. This is a wake-up call. It's a true wake-up call, and you need to get it together. We have a black president in office that doesn't have any merit whatsoever. You understand what I'm saying? None. But yet, we fight against each other instead of fighting together to help each other. This is the time to band together. We need to change our ways. When Michael Vick can go to jail for killing dogs or having dog fights, we have slipped off the rock and bumped our heads. It is crazy. We have kids that's being murdered and killed every day, black kids. But I say this again, if Zimmerman had been a black man and Trayvon had been a white boy, this case would have went nowhere near the way it went. The case should have been taken out of Florida to a separate state and tried. Florida is a racist state. It's clearly stamped after this case as full-blown racism. And if you out there, you deny it and say, no, you're going to be mad, you're going to be pissed off, I don't care because it is the truth. And we need to stop sugarcoating stuff and call it for what it is. They are racist. Point blank, period. And don't think they don't exist because they do. A child's life was taken from a man who said he felt like his life was in danger. But you are following this child. He's not following you, you following him. And then those pictures of bruises to the back of your head, your nose broke, then Trayvon should have some of those same bruises. So I'm not understanding. Was those bruises after the fact? Nobody never said that. Then you take concrete, you got dummies, you present them in a trial. What does that say? Really, let's stop and think. Mothers, if you have a son, they are a Trayvon. Believe me, they are a Trayvon with the potential to fall in that same situation. You need to bombard your elected officials because this needs to stop. It is ridiculous. And for Florida residents, y'all need to boycott Florida, period. You need to stop buying them doggone Skittles. Matter of fact, when it happened, Skittles should have been on the first thing on your list. But see, we don't never want to stick together and do what we need to do as a race. And it saddens me. Then you get mad when other people get on here and say what they got to say. That boy deserved to live. I don't care what you say. He deserved to live. If I call 911 and they tell me to stay where I'm at and let them handle it, then Zimmerman should have stayed where he was and let them handle it. He was out of place. He was out of pocket. You drive, you follow, then you walk and follow. Neighborhood watch does not go that far. You are not the judge and the jury and the decision maker, what should be done to somebody who has just as much right to walk the streets as you did. And for people to lie and say, you think every mother knows their child's voice. And Zimmerman mom clearly lied. Clearly. You cannot say those voices are the same. Those bruises on the back of his head, a broken nose. Why did not Trayvon have the same type of bruises? Come on, people. Let's be realistic here. Clearly, there is something going on in this picture that nobody wants to pay attention to. But I'm telling you, we as a race of people get stuck up all the time. And we need to stop hurting our own and do what we need to do to make our voices heard. It's time to stop sitting down and saying, oh, well, I guess, maybe. No, that is a poor, and then they don't convict him for nothing. He gets to walk away free. But what I did read on Facebook, and I take to my grave, and it's like money in the bank. God's word does not fail. And the payment that Zimmerman has and those individuals that lied with him, however it may be, will reap what they sow. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to be through. If Zimmerman had been beaten as bad as he said he would, what did it take them so long to bring him in? Why? Because if he was beaten that bad, he should have went straight to the hospital. And then he should have went straight to jail. Questions should have been given. So there are holes all in this story. But nobody wants to talk about that. The stuff that you miss out. You can't make a cake without the flour. It doesn't come out right without the sugar or the milk or the butter. So something is not adding up. And we as a race of people need to realize we have not arrived like we think we have arrived. Racism is existing, and the chains are invisible chains. You understand what I'm saying? They're invisible chains. We as a race of people need to stop it and get it together. We need to stick together. That's all I'm saying. Understand me when I say. So think about it. This was for Trayvon. Good night.